very simple. You can do it anytime and make a huge difference in your life. So let's just focus our attention in the area of our heart. You can put your hand on your heart if it helps you keep your focus there, because the mind likes to go everywhere else. You can close your eyes or keep them open, whatever is most comfortable. And we're going to do what's called heart-focused breathing. So pretend your breath is flowing in through the area of the heart and out through the area of the heart. Breathing a little slower, a little deeper than normal, and just find an easy rhythm that's comfortable. And as we continue heart-focused breathing, recall or activate a genuine feeling of appreciation for someone or something in your life that you truly care about and appreciate. You breathe that in through the area of the heart and out through the area of the heart. And what this does is it recenters, rebalances your nervous system and synchronizes your heart and brain. So you bring more of your best self to your next activity, which is connecting with us all here now on this podcast. Thank you so much.
I am delighted to read the bio of my first guest on the Whispers of Wellness, which I am extremely honored and excited about. And it is Deborah Rozman, Ph.D. She's the president and CEO of HeartMath Inc. She is a behavioral psychologist and helped develop HeartMath's workshop trainer, health professional, and coach mentor certification programs to facilitate creating a more resilient, coherent, and heart-based world at home, at work, with clients, and with patients. The training and certification programs teach scientifically validated techniques for developing emotional self-regulation skills and internal energy management for improved health and well-being, building personal resilience and coherence, and enhancing creativity and innovation. HeartMath has also developed the award-winning EM Wave and Inner Balance heart rate variability coherence feedback technology to help individuals and teams achieve heart-brain synchronization for team building and leadership training, improving decision-making, performance. And you can see that at HeartMath.com. Deborah co-authored with HeartMath founders Doc Childre the Transforming book series published by New Harbinger. The series included 4 titles: Transforming Stress, Transforming Anger, Transforming Anxiety, and Transforming Depression. She also co-authored Heart Intelligence, Connecting with the Intuitive Guidance of the Heart. Deborah is a key spokesperson for HeartMath system, giving media interviews and keynote addresses throughout the world on how heart coherence can accelerate personal growth and expand consciousness. She has appeared in documentary films, numerous telesummits, and hosted webinars with Dr. Daniel Amen, author of Change Your Brain, Change Your Life, who wrote forward to HeartMath's Brain Fitness program, and with trauma specialist Dr. Bessel van der Kilk on healing trauma and heart rate variability training. So without further ado, let's jump into this wonderful show to hear this precious soul. Now, personally, I have met her. I am a HeartMath certified trainer, which has totally changed the game for me when I was working, and still is. The impact is still going on beyond early retirement. But I met her and I was fortunate to be on her Heart Talk, and it has been amazing. I am so honored to have her with me today. Greetings, and welcome to Whispers of Wellness show. And I am so delighted to I'm actually honored to have Dr. Rozman with us today. And before we even jump into, we're going to experience a quick coherence. So Dr. Rozman, could you lead us?
Absolutely. It's very simple. You can do it anytime and make a huge difference in your life. So let's just focus our attention in the area of our heart. You can put your hand on your heart if it helps you keep your focus there, because the mind likes to go everywhere else. You can close your eyes or keep them open, whatever is most comfortable. And we're going to do what's called heart-focused breathing. So pretend your breath is flowing in through the area of the heart and out through the area of the heart. Breathing a little slower, a little deeper than normal, and just find an easy rhythm that's comfortable. And as we continue heart-focused breathing, recall or activate a genuine feeling of appreciation for someone or something in your life that you truly care about and appreciate. You breathe that in through the area of the heart and out through the area of the heart. And what this does is it recenters, rebalances your nervous system and synchronizes your heart and brain. So you bring more of your best self to your next activity, which is connecting with us all here now on this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. I absolutely love HeartMath. So, but before we jump in, could you just tell us a little bit about who you are? I did read your bio already. It's going to be on the beginning of the show. But tell us who you are. Who is Deborah?
Well, that's a big question.
I know.
I will just use the traditional answer, which is I am the president and CEO of HeartMath Incorporated, and I have been involved with the whole HeartMath research and mission and tools and techniques and training since the beginning, since we became first a nonprofit in 1991, and then we developed technologies and raised investment for heart coherence, which I'll explain, and I became the CEO of the HeartMath Corporation. So that's my title, role, and I would like to say that what I am really about is helping people understand the heart is way more than a blood pump. It is truly our access to our center of being and who we really are, and it has its own intelligence and communication pathways with the brain and the rest of the body. So I have been passionate to share that and share how people can connect with that since we began.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So when you started doing HeartMath, what were you doing before HeartMath?
Before HeartMath?
Yeah.
I had many little careers. I'm a behavioral psychologist. I wrote the first book on how to teach meditation to children in the 1970s. It became a bestseller. My doctorate was in child psychology and helping children get centered. And then I went from there to helping start different projects like bringing spirulina to the United States and bringing ion generase to the United States, and always involved with consciousness studies. What we're all about always interested me, and I was running a biotech firm called Biogenics prior to Doc Childre, the founder of HeartMath, telling a number of us who were working on those projects that he wanted to research how the heart, brain, and nervous system and spirit all communicate and start a research lab. And I was very excited about that. That was really my passion. And so in 1991, the HeartMath Institute was founded and the research laboratory, and with researchers from Stanford Brain Research, Dr. Carl Pribram, and Stanford Linear Accelerator physicist Joe Kamiya, who has invented or named, he didn't invent them, named alpha, beta, theta brainwaves from UC Berkeley. We just had a wonderful group of people who came to be advisors at the HeartMath Research Lab. And then our breakthrough research was published in the American Journal of Cardiology in 1995, showing how our emotions and our emotional state changes, the beat-to-beat changes in our heart rate or heart rhythm, and how that reflects how we feel, but we can actually change how we feel in our moods more quickly by learning how to resynchronize and change our heart rhythms. And that started a whole new process of training programs, technology development to see what was going on, books, and that's how we met you, is through your work at Kaiser.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's absolutely wonderful. So for those on the podcast perhaps that does not know what is HeartMath, can you explain to them what is HeartMath?
HeartMath is one of those oxymorons. Heart and math together? Is it mathematics? It's really taking heart out of the Sunday school, philosophical, or just poetic references to heart, and really understanding through research and application the practicality of and the psychological process, the psychological math of how the heart and brain communicate and how we can activate that communication to access our higher potentials, the frontal lobes where we are centers of executive decision making, compassion, empathy, bigger picture thinking happen. And that's really the math of the heart, because the heart is key to that process. It's not just the brain on brain or mind. It really is about activating what people have called for years the wisdom or intuitive guidance of the heart. And that happens when our heart and brain rhythms synchronize.
Yeah, when I was introduced to HeartMath, first I became a Caritas coach, and that's what Dr. Jean Watson's theory of how we practice as nurses. But immediately on the heels of that, I became a HeartMath trainer. I felt like HeartMath was a gift for me to be more authentically present for my patients. For my leaders. I could be in one room where I just experienced death, and then I can do HeartMath techniques, and then I go to the next room and still be authentically present and all the way there for that next person. So it has really been a game changer for me and all of the people that I'm around, because it's been such a source of helping me to go in. So thank you so much for explaining that, because it's hard to explain it because it was so transformative for me, almost transcendent in certain areas when I've had to deal with like judgment and things like that. I've been able to transcend because I'm practicing the techniques. So what would you say, Dr. Rozman, what's the why behind, why do we need HeartMath? Why should we experience it?
You basically just said it, and people could believe it, that when you get your heart rhythms into this coherent, why we call it heart coherence, mode, it's more like a sine wave instead of when you're stressed, it's all, your heart rhythms are all jagged, irregular when we look at it on the device. And it kind of reflects, your heart rhythm pattern reflects how you feel inside. But when you get to that heart rhythm coherent state, it helps you feel more at ease, more peaceful, and it's sending signals to your brain and body that are more harmonious. And when your heart and brain and nervous system are in sync, you can feel what you're talking about. Transcendent. The mind lets go and it opens up to more of your intuitive guidance, your presence. And so it's not a pipe dream. There's real physiological research behind this. And so people learning how to do that at any age, we teach young children how to do that and how to regulate their reactions and their emotions, not to suppress it or vent it, but how to come back to that inner balance. And when we do that for ourselves, it's not just hit and miss, like, oh, we hope something like that will happen to us so that we feel better. We can actually, just as you did, reset at any time. Prep and reset is a tool that HeartMath teaches.
Yes.
So just like you described, you were in a challenging situation. How do you recenter and reset your system so you can bring your best self and be more present to your next communication or activity? And the fact that there's real math or research behind this is very powerful. It's not just some personal development technique or some practice that is philosophical. It's actually grounded. And that's been exciting. Why we have thousands of researchers all over the world and health professionals advising their patients to practice this and practicing it for themselves, because we're in a world where people feel overwhelmed,
Yes.
stressed, burned out. They look at what's happening in politics or the economy, and there's a lot of fear. How to get yourself centered in the midst of all this so you can make your best choices really involves your heart's intelligence, not just your intellect.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was just thinking about, post-pandemic is where I really saw the need to be, to actually level up even more and really engage and train and teach and practice like 24/7 while I was at work, because everybody was in a state of burnout, lack of satisfaction, no joy and meaning, just really in that place. And so I am so thankful that I learned HeartMath before the pandemic. Because it helped me to sustain myself through it and then to actually help others. It was very tough, but it was very helpful. Would you say HeartMath is a stress management technique?
Definitely, it is. It's more than that, but it's
Yes.
definitely that. And by stress management, people used to talk in my profession of psychology so much about coping with stress. I don't like that term because cope is no hope. You're just trying to endure it.
Yeah.
Whereas HeartMath helps you with tools to actually release the stress and renew yourself so that you're seeing what was stressing you from a more intelligent perspective. It doesn't push what the stressor is away. It helps you manage your response and reaction to it from a more centered, more renewing, more intelligent perspective so that you can move through situations and not drain as much energy and renew yourself and have that care and kindness and why you, for example, got into the healing profession in the first place, the motivation. Have that care really still nurture your system rather than move into all the overcare, overwhelm, the overs, as I call it, and burn.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, what would you say then, Dr. Rozman? Because, I mean, there's still people struggling out there because, of course, like you said, the world is really not necessarily getting brighter, but there's a lot going on all at one time. But before I early retire, I really recognized that a lot of my peers and a lot of leaders and literally everybody was really still struggling to find themselves in the midst of all of this. So, how would you say that HeartMath plays a role in helping with burnout and the lack of satisfaction and
Yeah.
things like that?
Well, the fact that HeartMath is now certified over 150 chief nurses in the Kaiser Northern California Health System, who then share these simple techniques and tools in their huddles and with the other nurses and the docs and the patients,
Yeah.
because they work. And
Yes.
I think that's the bottom line. It's the tools are helping you work your operating system.
Absolutely.
So that if you're not draining energy, you're not going to burn out. If you're renewing your energy mentally, emotionally, and physically, you're going to have more to give, and that is going to feel self-regenerating, self-renewing. So to take what we call heart coherence breaks throughout the day, or like you said, after a potentially stressful situation, recenter, it just takes a minute, just like we did at the beginning of this program. It can sound
Yes.
too simple, but if it wasn't simple, it wouldn't make such a difference. People wouldn't do it. So you're really basically balancing your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. You're learning how to do that in the moment to prevent and release the stress response so that you can then renew your care, your love, your kindness, your connection, and be present in a new way, which keeps regenerating. It's like a virtuous cycle rather than the vicious, draining, overwhelm, burnout cycle. It's reversing all that. And the heart is the power to do that. It's what's involved as you change the heart rhythm pattern, the heart rate rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely amazing. As you were talking, I thought about just an experience that I had with one of our patients. I used to work in labor and delivery. And so I was doing my leadership rounds, and I saw the lady. She was just looked really overwhelmed. She had her baby. She was trying to feed her baby, and she's laying there in bed. She's like sobbing because she's so exhausted. And so I came in and I said, you know what? Can I try something with you? I'm going to turn the lights down a little bit. I'm going to turn on this channel we used to have. It's called the Care Channel. And I said, I have a technique and I think it's going to be a gift to you. And she was like, well, I don't care, whatever, I need help. And so I sat there and she had her baby on her chest and we did quick coherence. And it was the most wonderful thing to witness because she was so tight, intense, and as she breathed, the baby just like flowed on her chest. And then he latched on. And she was so happy that happened. But I told her, whenever you go home, please use this as a gift to yourself because it's like giving yourself a hug when you need it the most. And so it had become such a norm for me, Dr. Rozman, to just do that in the moment, wherever I am, whatever's going on, no matter what challenges. And so I really applaud you guys for the work that you're doing with HeartMath because it's literally changing lives.
It is. I receive emails all the time from people who say it's changed their life. And even if you do nothing but just heart-focused breathing when you feel tense. And of course, as soon as you can, add what gets you into heart rhythm coherence, which is any positive emotion on top of the breathing, even an attitude. Like if
Yeah.
you can't feel the appreciation, adopt the attitude of it for something. And the feeling though is very powerful if you can find one thing. It doesn't really matter what. When I teach young children, we focus on appreciating chocolate chip cookies. You know, they love it, and it opens the heart, and they go, yeah, and they get heart coherent, and then you can apply it to other things. Okay, now that your heart and brain are in sync, now let's talk about what are the areas of your life that you'd like to improve. So it's really about getting in sync and then applying that to life situations.
Dr. Rozman, what's the most gratifying thing that you have experienced as a CEO there for HeartMath?
Just what I said, the number of people who are helped. You know, it's like our tools are helping people activate their best self or what the potential is, and that blows their mind, and it's always like inspiring to me because I use the tools myself and have
Yeah.
for years. They're a way of life, they're a way of being, and that's satisfying because it keeps me in the flow and keeps me opening up and then being creative because that intuitive guidance is creative. And when I get out of the heart, it's like get back in and always improving in that because there's no end. You can always have plenty of challenges that challenge you to deepen your connection with your heart and with each other. So being with all the staff at HeartMath who practice these tools is incredibly satisfying and supportive. And then seeing how thousands of people who are being helped by HeartMath, especially the technology, the Balance Coherence Plus, heart rate variability, heart rhythm sensor, and getting the HeartMath app and seeing what's happening. All of that is tremendously satisfying, and then seeing the potential of how it can help change the world.
Yes.
Help heart go viral. That's our motto.
I love that. Help the heart go viral. That's absolutely awesome. I was going to say, so I got this, or the new one,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it is amazing. I have to say, I love the video features of it. There's so much training in
Yes.
there. There are so many techniques. So can you tell us a little bit about this? I'm encouraging everybody to get one because it's like
Yeah.
really your little friend here.
Yes, it is. That's our latest sensor. You clip it on your earlobe and you turn it on, and it connects you with the HeartMath app, which you download from the Google Play Store or the App Store. And it gives you access to 30 years of HeartMath tools, techniques, training, videos, content, what to do when, like when you wake up grumpy, what to do, how to get coherent, all sorts of fun things on there for learning, but also measuring your heart coherence level and walks you through how to do that, 7 days to greater coherence, what to do with the technology, and then how to practice the tool a little bit during your day. So it's meant to, the HeartMath app, really be something that can scale because it also works not only with the sensor that you just held up, Charlene, but the sensor gives you lifetime access to the HeartMath app subscription. That's where all of this content and training programs are, like 4 days to better sleep, because when we're stressed, it disrupts our sleep. How do we use this before sleep to get coherent, to have a better night's sleep and change our circadian rhythm?
Yeah.
Change our cortisol, stress hormone rhythm. And so we wanted this HeartMath app, which also has a coherence sensor you can use in the camera on the phone to get a feel for it. And then the sensor that Charlene showed is something that gives you high accuracy and really another in-depth level of training. So we wanted the HeartMath app available to everybody who has a smartphone. And that's billions of people
Everybody.
across the world. And
Yeah.
that's how it can go viral because they can use the camera on their phone to get a feel of and feedback on heart coherence. And what's beautiful, I didn't know this until we started this, but the App Store and the Google Play Store allow you to charge different amounts for subscriptions in countries who can't afford what, say, we could in the United States. So if it's going to Ghana, you could charge, say, 50 cents rather than the normal subscription fee. And that excites me because that's like how everybody's got a heart and everybody can get these tools. Because there's people who have smartphones who don't even have running water,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
and yet
exactly.
this will enable them to manage the stress, be able to connect more with opportunity, with their bigger picture thinking.
Yeah, I use it. So I start strategically using it since I've had it. So because I retired, it really helps me to tap into my inner heart to
Mm-hmm.
find out what do I want to create. So I think it is really phenomenal. Like even to quiet myself down
Right.
before I go into prayer, for instance. I've had to do that as well because it's such a busy world and there's so much that we can get busy doing that it really helps to quiet me down. And I absolutely love there's a feature on there and it's like your heart talking to you.
Yeah.
I love that piece in there because it really makes you like pause and slow down. And then each of you that are sharing, it is so relaxing to hear you actually deliver the information. For me, it's like meditative almost.
Well, it is because it's balanced. It's accessing that inner balance and that's what it's called, the inner balance coherence sensor. And, I just was talking with someone this morning, a PR person who wants to help get the word out. And he basically said, the biggest problem, people are trying to make decisions and they're lying in
Yes.
bed and their mind is going round and round and round and they don't come up with anything. They're not sure what to do. But when you use this, you get coherent first, heart and mind quiet, just like you're saying. And then it allows you to really connect and draw in what would be the highest, best choice in this moment to make. And then it feels right. It gives you that ping, that feeling, oh yeah, this
Yes.
feels right. And then as you step into it and act on it, things open up. It's like there's more confirmation. You go, oh wow, this really was, and let me use it again with the next time I have to make a decision. And we actually have a technique called the freeze frame technique, where you're freezing the frame of all this mind stuff and getting into the heart to get clarity, and that changes the next frame in your movie. Your
Yeah,
movie.
absolutely. And that actually reminds me before, I think it was around 2022, I hit this little spot, burnout spot, you could say. I don't even know if it was burnout. It was like irritation, frustration. My heart was trying to talk to me. And so I took 30 days off and I found a quote and it says, you don't die when your heart stops beating. You die when your heartbeats have no meaning. And so I recognized that I had lost meaning in my heart. And so I started going back to the heart because I had gotten too busy. And so I intentionally start doing it like daily, going back to the heart because I wanted my heart to really speak to me what was going on, why the irritation and why the frustration. And so
Right.
I think one of the beautiful things about HeartMath is it really helps you to do what you just said. It actually helps you to discern what your soul is trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing, and I absolutely love that it does that. It does so many different things. So I am a believer. I will be a believer forever. And I am so excited about the possibilities. So I have one other question for you, and then I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
I want to know what you see for the future of HeartMath as the CEO. I mean, if you had a dream, like what would you see?
My dream would be that 100 million people download this app and that it's affordable in all these countries for people and that people just use it a little bit, even if a little. There'll be people who use it more like you or me because it's rewarding, it's self-renewing. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But that we then lift the vibration of the planet, that people make more heart-based choices, that we help love go viral because it's
Yes.
only true heart care and all the qualities of love, like forgiveness and compassion and kindness. When you open your heart, that's who you naturally are. We each are that. You see it
Yes.
in babies, that's natural, but it gets clouded by fear and projections in the mind and how we're brought up and trauma and all of that. So the fact that this simple HeartMath technology helps us step by step to clear the slate, to reboot our system. I want to see that for 100 million people throughout the world, and that's what I'm dedicated to. And we really have the opportunity with the new HeartMath app to do that. So I would love everyone listening to this, download the HeartMath app. You get a 7-day free trial. You can get the sensor and try it. See what it does for you.
Yep, and I guarantee you, you will be sold on it because it's like having your own personal coach in your pocket whenever you need it, so that you can really become a better human being. When you were talking, Deborah, before I think about in 2020, I did my master's and I ended it with the project, and I used HeartMath and cultural humility together because in the perinatal space we have a lot of Black maternal morbidity.
Yeah.
And so it was so phenomenal, my results that I got, because I taught them quick coherence and I gave them a tool to go before they go into this interaction that could be pretty traumatizing. I wanted them to do HeartMath first. And it was such a wonderful thing. I mean, I was able to see the staff actually have these really difficult cultural conversations with different patients and also their peers. But when we came back and did the follow-up meetings, because I met with them weekly after they practiced the tool, they were more open to talk about, the differences and to be okay if someone, like for instance, there was a person that said, well, I only want this type of person taking care of me. And we were able to use HeartMath to allow the caregiver not to be wounded, but to really understand, okay, what's going on with this other people's perspective? Why is this happening? Right. It must be a reason. So they asked more questions than immediately going to judgment. But the quick coherence helped them to really open up and to see other people's perspective better, right, which is what the research shows. So absolutely awesome.
That's so important if this world needs us to not personalize separation, but be able to understand the hurt or where it's coming from or the fear and see other people's perspectives so that we can connect and we can start to heal all this divisiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really try to do that like wholeheartedly. I think in 2020 was when I kind of really started speaking up and sharing my story and showing how I can love anybody beyond whatever they've said, whatever they've done. And the power in that is so beautiful because you grow. You're not saying that, it doesn't, I mean, not that I wasn't hurt, but I still was able to lean in and love beyond so that I can grow. I mean, ultimately, that's what happened. I grew. And now I just spread the love. I don't care who you are. You're going to get some love from Charlene.
I love that. That's the way, that's the viral. And that's how go viral because it's empowering. It's not, it's not something where people are going to step all over you. It gives you the power to act energetically, care for yourself and others.
Well, and I like how you said, Dr. Rozman, you said that there's a choice. I think it was in the video that we all have a choice and we need to just use the choice that we have. So if we have a choice, tell us a little bit more about having a choice, and then I'm going to...
well, we're always making choices consciously or semi-consciously or unconsciously throughout the day. And those choices are what create the movie of our life. And if we can make choices that are more from our deeper intelligence, we're going to have a better movie. And we're going to make a bigger difference. And it's going to be more satisfying and better health and better relationships and all the things everybody really wants. So use your heart's intelligence. Learn how to connect with it and not just assume it's an emotional pull, or there's a real power in there, and that's what HeartMath's dedicated to helping people find. Through the techniques, the app, the technology, try it.
Yes, well, thank you so much. So I'm wondering if I can get you to do one more tool with us before you leave.
People are so welcome to come to HeartMath.com. Look around. There's a free HeartMath experience video course you can sign up for, but you can also get that in the app. So sign up the HeartMath app for your 7-day free experience and see what it does. All right, let's close with quick coherence.
Sounds
Focus
good.
in the heart. Take some deep breaths through the heart area, breathing a little slower than normal. Find an easy rhythm that's comfortable and do this heart-focused breathing. It's wonderful to do in between events or activities in your day. And as you continue heart-focused breathing, activate a genuine feeling of appreciation or care for something, someone in your life. Just breathe that heart quality and radiate it. Feel like you're sending it with every heartbeat through every cell of your body and radiate it into your next activity, whatever you're going to be doing after listening to this. And know you're creating more synchronization, more flow, and more potential to make better choices and enjoy your next activity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rozman. Are you still having your podcast? Do you still do your...
Yes, every month I have the Add Heart podcast. Charlene was my guest on it. And you can tune into that. Just go to heartmath.com, click on podcast on the upper nav, and you'll hear the past ones. And you can sign up for come out every third Tuesday of the month. And it's also available on all the podcast channels. So
Okay,
please
awesome.
join us.
And
Please
then if any organizations want to get in touch so they can do HeartMath,
Yes, just come to heartmath.com and click
okay.
on programs, and you'll see what's there.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Rozman. You are amazing. I'm forever grateful for you guys and what you do for humanity. And I'm definitely a believer and will continue to spread the
Well,
heart.
thank you. Thank you for you and for using these tools and the radiation you have and for all you share. You're doing wonders for the world, so appreciate it.
I want to thank you for joining me on the Whispers of Wellness. Remember, true healing begins within, and when you prioritize your well being, you ignite transformation in every area of your life. Now, let's keep the conversation going. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll never miss an episode, and I want you to follow me on social media for daily inspirations for my weekly Whisper newsletter and all of the behind the scenes insights. Also, comment below, engage with me, and let me know one well being or wellness practice that you're committing to yourself this week. Your well being matters, your voice matters, and together we're building a movement where well being isn't just a whisper, it is a roar. So, see you next time.